Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37 here on O'Connor and Company. That means the government has been shut down for 7 hours and 37 minutes. We'll keep you updated as the morning goes on. By the way, Julie Gunlock and I predicted earlier in the show this is not going to I don't think it's going to last through the weekend. Democrats are on the bad side of this. I've got a clue here that it's definitely going to be finished pretty soon here, Julie, because Democrats have already planned a Napa retreat, a 2-day getaway, October 13th at the 5-star Hotel Yountville, with an evening wine tour and dinner at the Stogland family's Vineyards Wine Caves. So,
good God,
you know,
they're so predictable.
Before they have their little Napa retreat, I wonder if Gavin Newsom will be joining them.
Probably. He does
from
love
French
Napa.
Laundry. You know they're going to want to tidy this up before they go and spend all of that money at that little retreat. So don't worry, everybody. It'll be taken care of soon. Joining us right now is friend of the program, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, U.S. Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonel, retired CIA-trained intelligence officer, and his book, of course, Operation Dark Heart. They're still talking about that book in this town. Tony, thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are. There's going to be more of that soon. So good morning,
good.
Julie and Larry.
Listen, all your friends from the Pentagon, you know, all the flag officers, all those big 3-4-star generals, admirals, they all were summoned to Quantico, and Secretary of War Hegseth and Commander-in-Chief Trump addressed them eye to eye. First of all, just in terms of the saying, because a lot of people say, oh, you could have done this through a Zoom meeting. You could have done this on FaceTime. You could have sent a memo. Why was it important, from your perspective, to have all those generals and admirals in that room at one time?
Because you had to get them off their seats so their fat-spreading ass didn't take up the entire room, just saying. So
that's one way to put it.
That's it. I mean, look, come on. You need to get these people up. And Larry, you and I, we're friends, and I've probably told you stories about the old days where they started doing this written PT test. Basically, the written PT test, which a lot of those flag officers, generals, and admirals subscribe to, basically is you get the form that records the number of pull-ups, push-ups, and your run time, and you just pencil everything in. It's called the written test, Larry. Why do the actual physical fitness stuff? You could just write it in. So that's what's been going on.
I just want you to know I could probably pass that test. In fact, I'm supposed to run the Marine Corps Marathon at the end of the month. I might just fill out a form that said I did.
And then go have drinks. Larry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's all done. That's all going away. And rightfully so. Our job is to stop being a social petri dish. And Larry, as much as I think some of these guys, like Mark Milley, like running around in the high heels, I don't think that intimidates the enemy. Just say it.
Yeah.
And so just there you go.
You know, Tony, the reaction to it was as if Hegseth was talking to a bunch of 14-year-old girls. Don't fat shame them. Don't fat shame them. You know, it really is important that we not fat shame 14-year-old girls, but these are military leaders.
Oh, yeah.
What is, I mean, is that part of the softness of the, of sort of the reforms that were made over the last couple decades of not requiring physical fitness? Is it just that sort of they were influenced by the media or this narrative that we have to be nice to everybody? I don't understand where this comes from.
It came from both sides. Democrats, Republicans, both have allowed for the past 30 years, essentially, late 90s, early 2000s, and to today, to start basically lowering everything down because it makes people feel better. Let's not intrude on people having a hard time. Someone who's very close to me talked to me last night after some other interviews and just pointed out that everybody who got recruited it's all about them. It's not about what they can give the country. It's all about, it's 4:30. I got to get to the daycare so I can get my child, and I'm going to be pregnant, so I don't have to go on the next deployment. And it's just not about women. Men do this too. I'm not calling out one side or the other. I'm just saying that the focus has become about how can the individual benefit from service rather than how can they, like JFK, say, what can you do for your country? That focus went away, and it's all a very progressive point of view that has been ended.
Meanwhile, Tony Shaffer, these standards are now being raised or at the very least enforced, the recruitment numbers are sky high. The retention numbers are sky high. When you actually set a bar and expect and demand the young men and women in the military to meet or exceed those bars, they actually rise to the occasion and say, count me in. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. So those experts, the military experts over at The View commented on this yesterday. Did you hear this? They talked about these being retro standards. While considering they're vintage idiots, I think it all fits. So let me make this point real quick. Look, right after we're done here, I'm going to go out to my garage and do 20 pull-ups. And if I can do it at 63, you can have these people who are way younger than me establish a standard and stick to it, period.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to do it. There's a lot of things going on. People have challenges in their lives. But again, if you have the priority to become mentally fit, physically, and basically able to do all the things you have to do, that's what you should do. And there should be no question about it. I can't believe this is a question of people getting upset about this whole thing. And they were talking about hazing. No, it's not hazing. It's challenging people, to Larry's point, that people want to be challenged. They want to grow. They want to be given things which make them have to work for it, not be given things because of their skin color or who they sleep with. They want to be given things because they earn them, and that's what should be the standard.
Hey, Tony, real fast, if you don't mind, of those flag officers in that room, and there are a lot of them, I think I'm shocked when I find out how many of our senior officers have stars on their shoulders. It is
a lot of hot air in that room. Yeah,
it's amazing. How many of them are actually actively operating contrary to the Commander-in-Chief's direct orders and directions for the Pentagon?
So, without telling too much out of school here, Larry, I think Pete Hegseth and company have kind of started figuring out, because he said it yesterday during the speech, they're trying to figure out who kind of went along with DEI because they had to survive, or those who were enthusiastically implementing it. The answer to your question is it's being worked. That's about all I can say about it at this point. But I think you're going to start seeing things. Yesterday was them being shown the door. It's like, hey, if you're a DEI guy and you don't feel comfortable here being told to your face that you suck, you can get up right now and resign. So this is the one good chance for them to leave. If they don't leave now, they're going to be fired. And I think that's what's coming next.
And of course, the way Joe Scarborough is going to report on it is this is Trump, changing the military and creating it in his own image so that they're his personal fighting force. And you have to pledge loyalty to MAGA or else you're out of the Army or out of the Navy. How would you respond to Joe Scarborough if you were having a coffee with him?
Well, first off, they said specifically they want the military, like I was, apolitical. You just go out and do your job. Secondly, they're reestablishing the standard of reasonable risk. During World War II, Eisenhower, Nimitz, all the other great leaders put in the mind of their subordinates the idea of taking reasonable risks to achieve specific objectives. That's back. That was taken out. All the risky things you've heard me tell you stories about, all the things in my book, Dark Heart, all those risky things, which actually did work. I didn't get anybody killed, just saying, but I took risk. All the risk-taking was taken out of the military. We were basically neutered by our own system. That's gone. Yeah. So I don't know. If Joe was in front of me right now, I'd say, dude, maybe you ought to think about how our job is to defend your fat-spreading ass from the bad guys, and we need to do it in such ways that will protect you and the country the way we need to do it to be successful. That's what I tell him.
I think Mika would be nodding along in agreement. Tony, we got to leave it there. Always good to talk to you, Colonel Shaffer.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Larry.
7:45 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the five. It's amazing how many.
Can he be on every day? He's so fun.
Yeah, he's always a blast. Hey, the people who have retired from the military. Enlisted NCOs, commissioned officers, they all have such a different take on what happened yesterday than all of the people who sit behind a desk and read a teleprompter for a living. And I think that's kind of telling.